In 2018, Jeffrey Deswan had the darting world at his feet after some great results. However, he's not appeared at Ali Pali for 3 years now, so where did it all go wrong? Jeffrey was born in Rijswijk in 1996. Deswan has Thai heritage, with part of his mother's side of the family still living there. He began playing darts at the age of 8, and in 2008 he won his first title at the Leidschendam Youth Championships. In 2010, at the age of 14, he managed to win 5 of the 6 Dutch youth events and twice hit 170 finishes to win tournaments. Jeffrey also made his televised debut at the Zuidendam Masters, where he lost in the first round. He won more national Dutch youth events in 2011, which was the year where we saw him appear in the PDC for the first time. He appeared in 3 development tour events, making a last 16 and last 32 at 2 events in Holland, but losing in his first game at the tournament he attended in England. 2012 was the year in which he began to announce himself on the international stage. In the summer, he lost to Max Hopp in the final of the singles tournament at the WTF Europe Youth Cup. Then just a few months later, he reached the final of the biggest WTF youth event at the World Masters, where he managed to beat Kenny Nyans in a deciding leg. That result helped him to easily finish as the highest ranked WTF youth player at the end of 2012. He stepped up to play on the senior WTF circuit in 2013 and 14, and in 2014 he reached the semi-final of the Dutch Open and last 16 of the World Masters. He also played in all of the PDC Development Tour events that year, where in 16 events he made 6 last 16s and a single quarter-final. Therefore, many didn't expect him to get a tour card when he headed to Q School for the first time at the start of 2015. However, on the opening day of Q School, 18-year-old Deswan beat Prakash Jiwa in a playoff to receive the first tour card. After some unspectacular results in the first 4 UK Open qualifiers of the year, Jeffrey averaged 101 to beat 16-time champion of the world Phil Taylor 6-3, taking out finishes of 118 and 121 under pressure to reach the last 32 of the 5th qualifier, where he was beaten by fellow Dutchman Christian Kist. In the 6th and final qualifier, he went one better, reaching the last 16 to secure a spot in Minehead, where he would make his PDC major debut, being beaten 5-2 by another Dutchman, Benito van der Pas. A week later, he managed to hit his first PDC 9 darter in a Players Championship event against Ian White, which he lost 6-3, with White wiring double 12 for his own 9 darter in the final leg. 2 PC events later, he managed to reach his first PDC Pro Tour quarter-final in a run which included wins over both Michael Smith and Jelle Klaassen before he lost to Adrian Lewis. He managed to qualify for 5 of the 9 Euro Tour events in his debut year, reaching the second round on 3 occasions. At the final Euro Tour event of the year, he narrowly wired double 12 for his first Stage 9 darter. Those decent runs helped him to qualify for the European Championships as the final player from the European Order of Merit. In the first round, which saw him make his PDC televised debut, he faced Michael van Gerwen in the PDC for the first time. He took out a great 1-5-6 checkout to go 2-0 up on MVG, but then lost 6 of the next 7 legs, seeing Jeffrey lose 6-3. Jeffrey then played in the World Youth Championship for the first time, where he won 3 games to reach the quarterfinals, in which he was beaten 6-4 by eventual champion Max Hopp. He had done enough in his first year on the tour to qualify for the World Championship through the Pro Tour Order of Merit. On his Ali Pali debut, he faced Michael Smith in a great game, which featured a famous moment where there were almost 4 180s in a row. Jeffrey went on to lose that game in a sudden death leg, in which he began with a score of 29. Deswan's 2016 season was tougher. He made it to the UK Open, but was beaten in the first game, and then didn't make it past the last 32 of any Players Championship event. He did continue to play in the Development Tour, where he made it to 3 semi-finals and a final. He also managed to hit his second PDC 9 darter at a Players Championship event, this time in a 6-3 win over Rom Eulenkamp. He failed to qualify for Ali Pali, but appeared in the World Youth Championship, where he lost 6-1 to Ted Everts in the last 16. The majority of 2017 was poor for Jeffrey. After a first round defeat at the UK Open, he only made it past the last 64 of one Players Championship event until October. However, he had success on the Development Tour, where in May of that year, he managed to win his first PDC title, beating Adam Smith-Neill 5-2 in the final. He kick-started a good run of form at the 21st Players Championship event of the year, where he got to the last 16. On the following day, he made it to the semi-finals of a Players' Championship event for the first time, in a run which included wins over both Stephen Bunting and Michael Smith, before he lost to Johnny Clayton. That secured him a spot in the Players' Championship finals for the first time. He then managed to beat Clayton and then White and Thornton to qualify for the Grand Slam of Darts for the first time. In an interview after securing that qualification, Jeffrey revealed that he began to give up hope as he'd been struggling with a shoulder injury for 18 months, which he managed to get over with physiotherapy. Jeffrey managed to beat Dave Chisnall with a Grand Slam, but lost to both Scott Mitchell and Stephen Bunting to finish bottom of his group. In the Players' Championship finals, he was whitewashed by Daryl Gurney in round 1. He then lost in the quarterfinals of the World Youth Championship and failed to make it through the tour card holder qualifier for the World Championships. That meant that he finished the year outside the top 64 and lost his tour card. However, he was able to immediately regain his card on the first day of Q School, where he beat Dirk van Dijvenbode in the final. He was signed up to a new contract with a stable job by his sponsor, which he admitted without he would have had to declare bankruptcy. The fixed salary meant that there was less pressure on his darts, which allowed him to have a breakthrough year in 2018. At the 4th UK Open qualifier, he reached his first senior PDC final where he was beaten 6-2 by Gary Anderson. That helped him to qualify for the UK Open, where he was drawn against Michael van Gerwen, who at the time was on a 77-game unbeaten streak in games shown on ITV. MVG was the heavy favourite to win the game and the whole tournament. It was Jeffrey who managed to win, taking out 56 to secure a 10-8 victory and complete a stunning upset. He went on to lose to Paul Hogan in the next round. A week later, Jeffrey reached another final on the Pro Tour, where he was beaten 6-2 in the final of Players' Championship 4 by Gary Anderson. At the 10th PC event of the year, he made it to the final again, where he managed to win his first senior PDC title, beating Johnny Clayton in a deciding leg. That helped him to qualify for the World Match Play for the first time, where he was the lowest ranked player in the field at 68. He faced reigning champion and world number 1 Michael van Gerwen in the first round, and went 6-5 down in the first 10 game. However, Jeffrey then remarkably won 5 legs in a row to complete another huge upset over MVG, his second of the year on TV, and it had come in the second biggest event of the year. On that occasion, he managed to follow it up with another huge win, beating Adrian Lewis 11-9 to reach the quarterfinals on debut. Jeffrey then averaged 103 to beat Dave Chisnall 16-8 and move through to the semi-finals, where his dream run was brought to an end by eventual champion Gary Anderson. Deswan stated that he was very proud of the run, but that his doubles abandoned him in the semi. Good performances for the rest of that year saw him make a return to Ali Pali, where he got his first win on the stage, beating Nitin Kumar 3-0 with an average of 93. He was then beaten 3-1 by Rob Cross in round 2, despite averaging 106. That was the second highest losing average in World Championship history at the time, a record which still stands to this day. In 2019, he appeared at the Rotterdam Premier League night as a contender, where he was beaten by Cross again. In May of that year, he won his second Players' Championship title, beating Stephen Bunting 8-2 in the final. He then lost in a sudden death leg against James Wade on his return to the World Match Play. A few months later, he hit his third PDC 9 darter in a Players' Championship event, the second of which he's hit against Rom Eulenkamp. Towards the end of the year, he reached a major quarter-final at the European Championship, where he beat Peter Wright and Jermaine Watamina before losing to Michael Smith. He was the 23rd seed at Ali Pali, where he began with a 3-2 win over Darren Young. He followed that up with another deciding set win, that time against Dave Chisnall, before losing 4-3 to eventual champion Peter Wright in the last 16. It was then time for the COVID-affected 2020 season, where Jeffrey began to struggle. During the first lockdown, many players were able to practice more than ever, but Jeffrey couldn't due to his shoulder injury in his throwing arm. He had to go for an MRI as he was scared there was a serious issue. He was set to appear in the webcam PDC home tour in early May, but was forced to pull out when it became clear that he needed minor surgery. That was alright for Deswan, as it wasn't the worst case scenario, and he had time to recover before in-person darts returned. Ahead of the summer series, Deswan said that he was pain-free and could stretch his arm normally again, which was good news, as he could practice and play normally again. In the Players' Championship events, his average that year was 90.28, which was 5 points lower than the previous year, a big fall-off. He did make a major quarter-final at the Grand Prix, but was beaten by Gerwyn Price, averaging just 82. He averaged 98 at Ali Pali in his game against Ryan Searle, but was beaten 3-0. That was his final Ali Pali appearance to date, so where's it all gone wrong? In 2021, his Players' Championship average was still only 91. He lost in the first round in 18 of the 26 Players' Championship events he played in, and didn't qualify for any ranking major except for the UK Open, which he got in automatically. Jeffrey revealed that during the early stages of that year, he was really struggling with the injury, which was having an effect on him mentally too, and making him not want to play anymore. His 2022 season didn't get off to a good start too, as he tested positive for COVID-19 and was forced to miss the first 2 Players' Championship events. His average that year was 91 again, and he lost in the first round of 15 of the 27 PC events he appeared in. He put in some decent performances on the Euro Tour, where he reached the 3rd round of 2 events, but his poor form and loss of big ranking money meant that he fell to 86th on the order of merit following the season and lost his tour card. However, he again won his card straight back at Q School at the start of 2023, keeping him on tour. He caused a big upset at the UK Open, where he managed to beat Go and Price 10-8 to reach the last 16. He finished that season with an average of 90.63 and earned £28.5 thousand, the 8th highest of the new tour card holders. He's revealed that dry needling has really helped his shoulder, so could we see him return to his best over the coming years? One change we could see is him switch to play for Thailand. There's been reports that he's applied for a passport, which would allow him to appear in the World Cup and on the Asian Tour. Let me know if you think Jeffrey will be able to retain his tour card this year in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video.